poll numbers that show that Hillary's favorability rating continues to nosedive. Senator, what do you think is the most vulnerable Achilles heel of Mrs. Clinton? If you had to pick a question that she had to answer, what do you think she needs to answer?
Well, what did you achieve as Secretary of State? How do you answer for this abysmal foreign policy approach that this White House has taken, whether it's the reset in Russia, pulling out of Iraq too early, mismanaging the Libya experience? I think they have a lot to answer for, and it's one of the reasons why she probably doesn't want to be exposed so early to these questions.
Do you think just the fact that she won't take questions is an issue in itself?
I think for the average voter over time it will become an issue. Maybe not today, but certainly over time people are going to begin to wonder, why is it that she is not holding herself up to the same standards that people on the other side of the aisle? But look, her advisors are putting her in a very delicate position, because by the time she gets to the general election, if in fact she is the Democratic nominee, she will be running against someone who has been answering questions and dealing with all this for months. And practice matters, and being experienced at these things matter. And I think she's going to struggle with it as a result of this.
Clearly the GOP sees her vulnerabilities, because you wouldn't think that you'd see so many people, you know, jumping into the ring unless they thought that they could get Hillary Clinton. You've identified where you think she's vulnerable, and that's her track record. How is your campaign targeting that?
Well, I think the question that people are going to have to answer is, now that we're in a new economy and in a dramatically different world from the one we leave behind 10 or 15 years ago, who is the person best capable of leading this country into the future? And I honestly believe the time has come for a new generation of leadership that understands the future because they've lived in it, understand what we need to be doing to embrace the promise of the future, that this new century is not just about challenges. It certainly has challenges, but it's also about incredible opportunities. You know, millions of people around the world can now afford to buy our products and our services. And I believe Hillary Clinton and her whole party, for the most part, is going to struggle to convince Americans that they are a movement about the future. And America has always been about the future, and our elections have always been about the future. And I think she's going to struggle, and her party is going to struggle, to convince Americans that they have ideas about the future and about how to make our future even better than our history.
Can I ask you a question?